For London to be highly prosperous, exciting, exceptional, and connected, in 2035, our city will need to represent a mosaic of outstanding places in which to live, work, shop, recreate, and be immersed in. These places will have their own unique functions and distinct identities and will offer a multitude of benefits to those who experience them. While the city building policies of the London Plan lay down the essential framework for how we will build our city over the next 20 years, our plan also needs to provide direction for how we will develop different geographic areas within our city, all the places that make up London. Traditionally, planners have typically focused on land use when setting plans for geographic areas within a city. The London Plan takes a different approach by planning for areas with an emphasis on the type of place we are trying to create and the corresponding experiences that one might have in such places that are highly functional, connected, and desirable places in which Londoners want to be immersed. With this new approach, the policies for each place type begin with a vision, and then explain the guiding principles for how we will realize this vision. Each place type chapter then continues to establish the range of permitted uses that are allowed, the expected intensity of development, and the envisioned built form that is intended within that given place type. In most place types, a broad range and mix of land uses and variable intensities of development are permitted. This approach connects with many of the London Plan's priorities by supporting infill and intensification, by creating complete communities, by supporting active mobility, and by setting the stage for a vibrancy that comes with variety and diversity. Rural London comprises all lands outside of the urban growth boundary within the city boundary. Over 40% of the City of London is rural, comprising lands located outside of the urban growth boundary, where farmland and farm-related activities are the predominant uses. Rural London has its own unique function and distinct identity, defined by both its integral connections to and its interface with the urban portions of the city and London's neighbours in the region. Similar to the approach taken for the urban London place types, the policy for each place type begins with a vision and then explains the guiding principles for how we will realize this vision. Each place type chapter then establishes the range of permitted uses, allowed intensity of development, and the envisioned built form within that given place type. This connects with many of the plan's priorities to protect the agricultural land resource and maintain the viability of farming, and recognize the need for a long-term commitment to farmland within these areas, so that farmland continues to make a significant contribution to London's economy. While the rural neighbourhoods are not regarded as centres for growth, development within these areas will be limited to uses that can be accommodated on an infill basis. The policies also recognize the rural neighbourhood areas which historically developed as farm service centres, and which currently exist as small residential communities with a mix of small-scale commercial uses. Rural London will be an integral and connected part of the city that both supports and is supported by urban London.